Around 30 Conservative MPs have voted against Theresa May's withdrawal deal on each of the times, each of the three occasions it's come before the Commons. They are a small and select group, among them Steve Baker, the MP for Wickham, Deputy Chair of the European Research Group, and is on the line now. Morning to you.
Good morning, Justin.
And are you going to take that group, and presumably a wider group as well, if you were to be successful, into the leadership election and stand?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I mean, nominations haven't opened yet, never mind closed. Obviously I've had to be considering it, but it's only really arisen because I, as you say, voted against the deal each time it was presented. It would have delivered Brexit in name only. It would have risked collapsing the government as the DUP withdrew support, and I'm quite sure it would have unravelled by the next general election, leading to just the electoral disaster we're about to suffer in the European election.
We had a glitch on the line at a crucial moment there. I think you said, I'm considering it, but I'm not standing at the moment. Is that right?
So I am considering it, but I've obviously had to say that because I've been asked who I'm backing, and I can't back anybody until I've decided what I'm doing. I'm very conscious that we don't want too many candidates, that Boris Johnson is in the lead, that Dominic Raab is second behind him, that both men are very talented. But it is the case that I'm being asked to stand.
And what will decide you?
I think events will move at pace this week. On Monday, your programme, when it next goes out, we'll be discussing the European election results. And I think that's going to demonstrate that if the Conservative Party wants to be a viable electoral force, it's going to need to deliver Brexit. It's going to need to deliver a Brexit which the voters for the Brexit Party approve of. Now, obviously, we need to build a coalition right across the country and bring people together. I think I can see how to do that. But we are going to need to deliver Brexit and deliver it properly, as well as stopping Labour.
You say a Brexit of which voters for the Brexit Party will approve of. They are in control now of your party and your future.
Well, no, they're not in control, but, I'm afraid we can't be in open revolt against the voters. There's that old phrase about no compromise with the voter. We do actually need to know what we stand for, what our principles are, what our policy objectives are going to be. And I want to deliver social well-being and economic prosperity through the principles of a free society. One of those is democracy. We need to deliver on a democratic decision. And I would pick up that task with buoyancy and hope, knowing why I was doing it, knowing what needed to be done, knowing how, knowing who to bring in to get the thing done. And I have to say, having listened this morning, while I've agreed with a great deal of what's been said, I have been thinking, my goodness, isn't it time for a little bit more enthusiasm, buoyancy and hope as we set about a task which is not the worst our country has ever faced?
And Boris Johnson would provide that, wouldn't he, in your view?
Of course. Look, Boris Johnson's absolutely the standout candidate when it comes to charisma and stardust.
But why are you not just simply backing him, saying he's the man?
Well, there's no getting away from it that Boris and Dom and Esther and David Davis and others voted for Brexit in name only at the third presentation of the deal, and they had good reasons for it, which they articulated at the time. But the consequence of them voting for it, and by the way, putting at risk the confidence and supply agreement with the DUP, by the way, we do need to start remembering we are in minority, and if we want the government to stand, we must carry the DUP with us. But the consequence of them voting for it is that people have been impressing upon me the importance of me considering standing. And that's it. It's as night follows day, the logic is there. But Boris would be, I'm sure, a great Prime Minister, as would Dominic Raab. But as I say, events are going to move fast this week, particularly after the European election results.
But you're saying that single vote, you voted for the third time for the withdrawal bill, for all the reasons he explained at the time, that single vote, in your view, might disqualify him, in your view, as being the right person to take on the job now?
I wouldn't go that far, Justin, but I am saying to you that it's right across the country. I'm receiving emails and tweets and Facebook messages telling me that in other people's view it has. Now, I think many people will be ambivalent about it. I mean, clearly Boris was a leading figure in the Leave campaign. Many people have attributed to him delivering Brexit, and I'm certainly not going to be disobliging about Boris, but it just is the case that the aftermath of the third meaningful vote is that members of the public in particular, campaigners and some members of Parliament are suggesting that I stand, and I've just got to face up to that decision.
Do you, final question, do you see yourself as a kind of Jeremy Corbyn of the Conservative Party?
No, this is the second time.
Put there by the members.
This is the second time I've been asked this rather ludicrous and insulting question. Look, all I've done is stand by the manifesto that we put out there. We put out a manifesto saying we'd leave the customs union, leave the single market, end the jurisdiction of the ECJ. By now, people know what it is. And all I've actually done is stand for our manifesto. I think I'm the mainstream. I think I'm the mainstream with our members. Our members are not extremists. They're some of the most moderate. They're conservative. I mean, they're not merely conservative with a big C, but with a small c. I'm for the principles of a free society, delivering on a decision and going forward to flourish.
Steve Baker, thank you very much.